Hi, it's Dr. Renee Clauselle here today to talk about setting boundaries. Whether it's with a coworker, a boss, or in a romantic relationship, or with your parents, boundaries are the key to self-care, self-love, and maintaining a sense of self. And while that might sound easy to do, let's face it, when we become invested in any sort of relationship, it can become challenging to maintain a sense of self while still trying to nurture the relationship and feed or pour into the other person on the other side of that relationship. So let's talk about boundaries. But before we do, please click the like button and subscribe to this channel as it helps others find me and this content. Okay, so let's get into boundaries. Establishing clear communication about your boundaries is key in creating any sort of healthy relationship. And it is also important to remember that boundaries are not walls. These are guidelines that help us understand how to teach others to respect us and how to treat us. I often hear clients in my private practice getting boundaries confused with walls and or preferences. So let's go over that a bit. A boundary, again, is about who you are and what you want to allow into your space for your own well-being. For example, I might say, I have found that I need to be in bed by 10 p.m. to have a good night's sleep and feel good about myself in the morning. So if friends ask me to stay out late, I might say, this might be my boundary. I will go out with you, but I will be leaving around 9 o'clock to get home at a time that feels right for me. A wall is to say, I won't go out with you at all because you stay out late and I don't want to stay out late. So walls often come with judgment of another person or their behavior, and it blocks the potential of meaningful connection and communication. A preference is, in this example, I don't prefer going out this late. I don't prefer going out this late, or I don't prefer to go out with people that go out this late, but it's not a deal breaker for me. That expresses a preference. I think it is important to understand these differences as a healthy, securely attached person knows their boundaries so well that they may be able to explore the edges of those boundaries when relating to others without fear of losing themselves. It can often be difficult to know your boundaries and know the difference between not setting up walls and or sharing preferences. I recommend exploring these things with a trusted friend or psychotherapist. And of course, if you're interested in psychotherapy with me, there is a link below in the summary section to set an appointment with me, and of course, my Self-Help University, which has all kinds of self-paced, self-guided educational videos on mental health well-being. Now back to boundaries. It is important to stand firm in your boundaries once you know what they are. And knowing what they are can be, like I said, you might want to explore that with a therapist or a trusted friend. But once you know what your boundaries are, no wishy-washy vibes here. You own it, you embrace it, and you feel secure in them. And this requires some introspection and courage. You have to slow down enough to recognize and respect your own limits. Learning to listen to your body and mind is a skill. Monitoring throughout your day what feels good, what feels bad, what you prefer, what you like, what you don't like, is very important to establish boundaries. Most of us don't do these things. We just get through our day jumping from one thing to the next, not really taking, thought about how we're feeling, about how we're moving through our space. And then we're surprised when we don't know our boundaries. Some people go as far as people pleasing, right? So people please so much that we let others run all over our boundaries until we lose a sense of who we are and what is important to us. In my practice, I talk a lot about knowing your boundaries, but also knowing the edges of your boundaries. In other words, striking a balance that feels good for you and those you're relating to. It's similar to yoga. Well, to me, it's similar to yoga because I like yoga, but hear me out. Maintaining consistency in upholding your boundaries is like doing yoga for your peace of mind, right? You twist, you turn, you might even fall over to one side or need help in a certain pose. But in the end, you find your balance. So you remember to stand your ground, like a warrior pose almost, and let that inner peace flow through you. And remember, maintaining boundaries can be like the downward dog of adulthood. It's not always easy, but it's very rewarding. So keep working on those boundaries. All right, everyone. Bye for now. And thanks for watching.